All right, let's go ahead and get started. I want to start off by saying thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules and joining us today. I know it's a hectic time for most, especially right now. My name is Jess, and I'm the marketing manager here at Index.io. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, just place them into the chat window and we'll answer them at the end. We'll also be recording this, and a link to the recording will be included in the follow-up email. So I'm sure it's no secret to any of you that the legal world is facing a boatload of challenges with electronic discovery. Challenges like data accessibility, scalability, management, and overwhelming costs. And these challenges are the exact reason Index.io was created. We took the latest technologies and made the most comprehensive e-discovery tool in the industry. So what's so special about us? Well, Index.io is a true do-it-yourself intuitive platform. This means you can get up and running in minutes without ever talking to a sales rep or even utilizing a project manager. We also cut traditional processing times from days to minutes with our auto scale technology. Need to fire up Index.io on the go? No problem. We offer a free mobile iPad app that is easy, intuitive, and secure. You can literally review, code, redact, and organize your e-discovery documents no matter where you are. Index.io is also the only e-discovery solution that provides a daily hosting model. So what does this mean? Well, it means you have more predictable billing, easier project management, and no minimum hosting charges. There are also no long-term restricting contracts, no licensing fees, no user fees, and no minimums per month. And now for the main event. Austin, our support representative here at Index.io, is going to lead the mobile discovery demo for you today. Austin?
All right, thanks for that intro, Jess. Like Jess mentioned, we're going to be talking about our new mDiscovery feature today. This one's been in the works for quite a while, and I'm very excited to talk to you guys about it. It's a really cool new feature. So let me get my screen shared with you here, and we'll jump right in. For starters, our mDiscovery feature is going to support forensic images from Cellebrite. Cellebrite images need to be exported in XML format with the default folder structure. So the image you get from them should look kind of like this. You're going to see a folder with a XML report in it, and then some subfolders with things like chats, MMS messages, voicemails. And so it'll look a little bit like this. This is what your image should look like. And once you have that, you're going to want to upload it to your IIO drive. Let me switch over to FileZilla here. This is a view you guys have probably seen before if you've been working with Index.io for a while. So I'm going to go into our Uploads folder in the IIO drive, go into the new mobile data folder that everyone should have. And then here you'll see that zip file that I've uploaded. This is that mobile forensic image that we just saw on the other screen. So once you've uploaded your file to the IIO drive, we've got to start it processing in the project, just like any other data you upload to that drive here. So let me switch over here. I go into our webinar project, go over to our collections tab, and I'm going to add this new collection. I'll call this new phone image. This is a phone from Brian. It's our custodian. So I'll hit next. And then you'll see there's this new forensic image option. So I'll switch over to that, and this is going to show you all of the data you've uploaded to that mobile data folder where you can select it here. Currently, we just have the one forensic image type, so you can leave it on Cellebrite. Check that you understand this is a billable action. And then hit save, and this is going to verify that image, and then it'll start it processing here for you. While that gets started, I've already processed this image in this project, so I'm going to go in here and take a look at it and show you what this looks like once it's finished. The first thing you're going to see is, of course, that zip file that we used to upload, and then the next thing here is that XML report. This is what you'll open to be able to view the entire mobile image, sort of in a nice viewer here. You can scroll through each of the individual chat messages, and you'll be able to see photos, all of their messages, any multimedia that they've included. And then from this window here, you can actually select multiple different pieces and save these as a PDF here. So I'm going to save this selection, and it's going to extract that conversation and create a nice PDF document for me to use to either review or produce or whatever I want to do with it. So you can kind of come through here, select a couple different conversations, save some important selections, and begin like that. So this XML report here, that's where you're going to be able to view sort of the entire phone image, and then it'll also show you in the collection all of the different pieces. So we can see we've got a couple voicemails here. some chat messages, a message that had a photo attached here, and all of this is able to be searched just with our usual search tools. Um, so I can come up to the top here and say, let's find everything that says moment together. Saw that keyword in there. So great, there it found that message that I've got. I can bring that record up here, and this is going to show me now specifically this individual message. I can tag it just like any other record in the database, add my notes, add my privileged notes. And if I want to view this message now in context, I can come down here in the bottom left and click View in Conversation, and it's going to kick me back to that other viewer, and there we have it. It's got that message highlighted here. I can see what it looks like in context and select that message, the one before it, the one after it. Maybe I want to save that whole one so we have kind of the context for that message when we produce it. All of these conversations that I'm extracting are going to get tagged as an extracted conversation. We've also set up a new default save search that'll bring you right into that data set. So I can come in here and see all of the conversations that I've extracted from this mobile image. And then from here, I can continue to review, tag, utilize all of the different index.io features. Close this now, I'll jump back into that project here and show you some of the other stuff that's going to show up in that image. If I jump into a voicemail here, our transcription services have been upgraded with this update as well. So you're going to see really high quality voice to text translations on all these voicemail files that you're putting in here. So all of this text gets indexed and has become searchable. You can listen to the voicemail as its original audio if you'd like, rather than read it. But it's nice that all of this text now becomes searchable. If you want to turn that feature off, you can go into the admin area here. And this can be helpful to speed up processing if you know there's going to be a lot of voicemails in your data set and you don't necessarily need all of that extracted text. You can turn that transcription feature off, save that, and then anything that you process is just going to give you the voicemail file. It won't transcribe all of the text and make it searchable. It can definitely speed up your processing times, but you do lose some functionality there, so it's an option that we've given you guys to decide on. Now that we've pulled out some conversations, let me go ahead and do kind of an example export and kick out some of those in a production. We've made some changes to the export viewer here as well. You've now got a check up here at the top that you understand that this is a billable event. So I'm going to call this our mobile image 1. I'm going to select our phone image, and I'm going to take, like I mentioned, we have that tag that gets created automatically. I want everything that I've extracted as a conversation to be included. Come down to the bottom, review my totals here, go on to the next step. And here's another nice update that we've made to the export wizard. We got a lot of questions about, which of the different export options are billed which way. So we've got a nice little indicator here now. Our PDF and TIFF options are always billed per page. These native options here at the bottom are billed per gigabyte. So right in the tool, you can quickly see which option you're going to be selecting. All right, I'll give it a Bates number here. Last step is just a summary, as always. Look over my settings real quick here. We'll kick that off and it'll start running. Jumping back into this mobile collection here. Our other one's still processing, but I can go through this here. And let's take a look at some of these extracted conversations. You'll see this one here, since we added an image to it, it's going to link that as a related item now. So even though I extracted this conversation, since I included some multimedia in it, it's going to link that to the individual child item as well. So if you want to include the raw image, not as part of the conversation, but the full size, media, that gets linked to the original message as well. So all of this, all the family relationships get maintained while you're doing all of your searching and your reviewing in this mobile data set. It just kind of handles most of it for you. From what I've seen, it's very intuitive. I've really liked working with it. It's a pretty cool feature. So I'm going to jump back to that main message here. You can take another look and see. So this is the message I was just looking at. Maybe I want to select that one. Some parts down here below. Maybe I need to make another selection there. And you can kind of work through it like that. It's very quick to kind of view all of these conversations and in the context that they were originally in. Select the part that you want to save, and pull everything out and then get it ready for export. One other thing that we added in this update is there's now a copy project ID button up here in the top left. And all that's going to do is it's just going to grab your project ID for you, put it on your clipboard so you can paste it. If you're working with our support team or you have any questions about what's going on in your project, that's a great ID to send along with your message so we know where you're working and can quickly get into that and assist you as fast as possible. And that's pretty much our mobile discovery feature. I see we've had some questions come in so far. Let me take a look at what's popped up. Got a question from Greg here, deduping. If two people were texting back and forth and both conversations were saved on their phones and both phones were collected, processed, would you be able to identify one of these threads as a duplicate and flag it as such? That is an excellent question. I would have to follow up with our team and get you a specific answer on that. I'm not sure actually whether or not information like that's going to dedupe across multiple phones. I would imagine that it would. All of our deduping is based on MD5 hashes. So if you have an identical conversation in one phone and another identical conversation in another, it should be able to identify those, but I can certainly get a specific answer from our tech team and follow up with them. Got another question here from Kaylee. So the XML is a full report that has been exported from Cellebrite. So sort of. The XML is a part of the image. I'll switch back to this example screenshot that I've got here. This entire thing that you're seeing here is actually the image. So this zip file here has all these subparts. It's got a chat folder, contacts folder, files, and that XML report. This is all part of the image. That report is just what's actually going to point out to all of the different parts of this. And so this is what you'll open in our system to kind of view everything as a whole, but then you can also view the different individual parts and review those. Let's see what else we got. I got quite a few questions coming in here. Another question from Greg. With this new release, are there any additional metadata fields that are now available for export or reporting or in the user interface? So there aren't any new fields. All of the fields that are getting pulled out of these should get mapped to existing fields. So if I go into, let's take a look at that phone image again. If I open up an example message here and go to metadata, you're going to see our email fields, our headers that we use for email addresses. Those are going to be linked to your phone messages or your phone numbers now. So you can come in and see who it was from. If there wasn't email linked, I know like Apple will link your iCloud account and you can send messages from your email as well as your phone number. So it'll pull out both here. And you can even utilize our data enrichment service on phone numbers still and look up, see who this number belongs to, go to their LinkedIn profile, get kind of some general information about them. So all of the metadata is going to get mapped to existing fields. The created date is going to be the date that the message was sent, and it'll all integrate into all of the existing features. The reviewer needed to export full conversations. Can you walk us through how that would work on a native PDF export? Sure. So the native PDF export, our native PDFs are just the PDF that you see in the viewer right now. It's going to be unbranded. So if I go into our extracted conversations and we wanted to export some messages that have been extracted, we've created these new PDFs of them. If I was going to export this as a native PDF, you're going to get this exact PDF you see right here. If I was to export it as a PDF, the build per page type, then we could add endorsements in the bottom, Bates numbers, confidential labels, whatever we need. And then it would be the same PDF just with endorsements. So you can still do native PDF exports on all of this data. It's going to work the same way. It's just going to be the PDF you see in the viewer that we created during processing. Another question here, is IIO identifying and displaying contact names in the text messages, or is that being determined from the Cellebrite export? That's something that's going to be determined by the export. If your image includes a name next to these phone numbers, it'll include that. But our system's not going to, link a name that wasn't already in the image to a phone number. It'll have to exist in that export for us to pull it out, and we'll pull out that exact to from field, however it happened to appear. Another question, does this new release allow for WhatsApp chats, images, videos, documents saved in downloads folders, or galleries to be processed? It will support WhatsApp messages, I believe. We've seen some of those get pulled out, and it handles more than just the standard photos as far as your media goes. Let me jump into this image again. I know there's like a video file example here I can show you. Yep, so there we go. You can see there was like an audio message that was sent in this one. You can listen to that right in the viewer here.
Hi, Brian. I wanted to call you about possible data that we have to process in indexed.io.
So you can review all of that multimedia stuff right in the viewer here. You can see there's GIF and video files will also show up right in the viewer. It does its best to try and integrate everything that's available in the export into the actual system. So you can work with most of the stuff that's included in your image. And then last question here, assuming you will process those images, videos, documents mentioned in the question above, would those dedupe against the same images, videos, documents that were collected from another laptop or another phone? So they will actually. If I come in here, let's take a look actually at our new phone image, since it should be identical. So everything in this set, I bring up, a voicemail that we've already seen here. It's been tagged as a duplicate because we already saw this voicemail in the other message set. I can come down and look at this multimedia message. It looks like this one wasn't identified as an identical duplicate. So it's going to try to dedupe. It's going to depend, I suppose, on the different types of media. I can get some specific information from our tech team. And maybe we'll put out a help article on how the deduping is going to work on these mobile images and get some more specific information for everyone. I think that's all the questions we've had come in so far. If anybody else has any questions, definitely get those in now so we can answer them while we've got time here. While we're waiting on just any last messages here, let me jump over to our support section. I'm going to go to our announcements page. If you guys want to read about this update, see everything that was included, get some basic examples of how it's working, this release note article will be great. It'll show you how to process that image, kind of cover some screenshots of how I've done these extracted conversations, talks about all the other little changes that we made in this update. So it was one of our larger updates, so there's a lot of information in there. If you guys have any questions about anything or want to see a more specific demo or need some help getting your images exported from Cellebrite in a format that's compatible, definitely reach out to us. We're here to help with all of that. I see one more question's come in here. Let's take a look. From the looks of what Cellebrite creates, it appears that the XML image is only available with specific types of phone dumps. Are you going to work on being able to upload all UFDX files from Cellebrite? So the UFD, the UFDR, the UFDX files, those are proprietary Cellebrite images, so we can't mount or really work with those. It's all going to be based on the XML images. So they will have to come out of Cellebrite in a universal XML format rather than their proprietary image format that only they can work with. All right, I think that was all the questions that I've seen come in so far. Thanks again for joining us today. Definitely take a look at our webinar that's going to be happening next month. We'll probably be meeting with one of our premier partners, or maybe we'll be talking about our next update. It's still kind of up in the air at the moment, but every month we'll have these. Get in, answer your questions, see all of our new features, and just kind of get an update on what's going on with Index.io. So thanks again, everyone, for joining us. Thanks, Jess, for all of your help. We'll send out a link to this recording to everyone shortly.